So let me introduce, my name is Lukas Macura, and I am employed at Silesian University in Karviná in Czech Republic, and in CESNET, which is national network in Czech Republic for research. And I would want to talk about many things today. So please, sorry, my presentation is not focused to one theme. And sorry, my presentation will not be so interactive, and we will not play with slides. And first of all, I have to repair one mistake which was said, that because I think that Czech beer is best. Yeah? Okay. Okay. So I would want to say something about this. This will be much more flight over features and over things which I found that I think that could be useful for a community, is not about one thing. So first about embedding Zabbix into small devices. Next about using Zabbix for some weather monitoring, not weather changing yet, only monitoring. Managing a couple of devices using some configuration in Zabbix, and at least multi-criteria analysis which I'm working on for Zabbix. Zabbix on Silesian University today, version 2.07, works very well, of course. Still on MySQL. Is there some success from migrate from MySQL to Postgres? We should be first. Okay. We are, maybe in next life I will do this. But today there is huge amount of config and inventory because all lab PCs are inside Zabbix. And we use it for our external system for recovery lab PCs, as I said last year. You see that 752 active hosts, and you see the numbers, I don't have to read. We have one exception for history because of multi-criteria analysis. I will need a lot of history data, so I have made small trigger in SQL that all history is backed to another table without indexing. I posted to forum that anybody can do this if you want all the data, but you don't want to waste CPU time because of big tables. So we can talk together. We can talk after presentation. Because there are geographically two nodes or two on map, so there is another Zabbix on headquarters, older, yes, but maybe they are working on upgrade, and approximately it's similar installation. Okay, now about first thing, embedding Zabbix agent. This is really easy. It was already done, and many devices are able to use Zabbix agent today. We use it in our BSIP software, which is image for voice IP telephony, which is based on OpenWRT. We are in touch with community with OpenWRT, and we're embedding some voice IP things, and we send some latest patches for Zabbix to upgrade in OpenWRT. So Zabbix agent and Zabbix sender are working perfectly in embedded devices. Now the question: does the community needs to embed Zabbix server? Is it needed to run Zabbix server on small devices? I think so, but it's up to community to say, okay, this is needed. Because if we want to embed the Zabbix server into small devices, we need to solve some problems. First of all, that there are little amount of flash and little amount of memory, so we can split localization to make the package smaller. Next, we have to solve the problem of data and config, because everything is in one database. So if I put it flash, Flash will be killed because of many writes. And if I put it to RAM, our config will be killed. So we have to find some solution. Maybe some import tool, import and export tool, and during startup to import some configuration, and next to have in RAM disk. Next, we don't need, in the small devices, we don't need history, long history to live on flash. We don't need only small amount of time. And it's enough to take care, okay, ping is working, HTTP server is working, or something like this, and I can remember it after 1 hour. I can not remember, I can lose it after 1 hour. Okay, next about measuring weather. I have made some community for monitoring weather conditions using specialized hardware. There is CESNET inside, CESNET server. Zabbix is used for monitoring and visualization because why to use something else is best. But we don't, it doesn't work like monitoring, it works like some community, so we don't want to bring the users to internals of Zabbix. We need only to say, okay, it's nice weather, it's 25 degrees, or to see some graph, but not to enter Zabbix, Zabbix front. So we cache every output of Zabbix. Granularity 10 minutes is okay because weather will not change rapidly. Predefined graphs for 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, and they are cached for simultaneous access to non-compute it anytime. This is really very simple Apache config which will do redirect location X and its values into Zabbix. And next, we will enable cache in Apache and cache everything, every output. So we don't need to still query Zabbix. And that scripts are written in PHP, and using Zabbix API, they get informations from inside. Now about monitoring a couple of devices, we had to solve the problem that we have many OpenWRT devices, and we want to have all under control. So from the point of start, booting, updating firmware, doing some pre-configuration and everything, and we made some patch. We had some version of OpenWRT which was able to download configuration from server, upgrade image automatically. Zabbix agents is inside, so it will register to Zabbix server and sends all informations needed. And every step is logged into Zabbix server, and even more for syslog. And anytime device can ask Zabbix server for special parameters via API to get something useful for working. Now we are recreating that provisioning, and we are making new version, and I hope it will be accepted by OpenWRT community, so it should be public for anybody. So if you install OpenWRT device, it will automatically check the DHCP and get the config from HTTP, FTP, TFTP or something else. Now about multi-criteria network analysis, what I'm working on today. I was thinking about, okay, we have a lot of data inside monitoring system. So why to not use them for some specialized analysis? Do you know what happened in your network? Do you think you know what happened there? If you say yes, it means you don't know. Because many incidents which you never found. Now I use GNU Octave for manipulating data. I have some script to get history and trends from Zabbix and analyze them externally in Octave. And there are some graphs and some things which are output of this. The goal is to make the statistical analysis of history and trends data. So we can find things which repeats in time. We can find some pig horse, something like this. But the goal of analysis is don't teach anything or don't make any rules, because rules should be found by that statistical analysis. It's really maybe a little bit hard to explain or to say, but I really don't know what I am searching for, but I want to find it. Yeah? So I will try to make this analysis. Maybe we will need some better approximation of data trends, because we know only average, minimum, maximum for that period, but maybe linear approximation could be good, but it will be a result of analysis if it is needed. Imagine we will find some unique correlation of data. It means you have Zabbix server, you put there all your servers or your switches, and now you found that if that server is doing something useful, you will find the utilization of some network ports, some ports on switch. It's possible to find by analysis, because the data are correlating. So it's a huge amount of data, but I think it will be possible to find some logical view of network and flows and everything, because the data are correlating between them. And if something changes, so there is something which is not usual, that correlation will change, and we can predict or we can do something with it. After we will need correlation. Good start for this system is that in the Zabbix we have everything together. So we have triggers. So if I will try to teach some neural networks, I know where are triggers. So this is bad, and I can teach network without user that what's bad and what's good. And to ignore the false positives, we have acknowledgements. So I can say, okay, this trigger was not so hot as it looks. Entire analysis is cheap. We don't need any hardware or something like this. We will only use CPU on that server where the Zabbix runs, or maybe somewhere on another server. Analysis has to be split into the parts, because host group and I don't know, switches, and maybe it will be nice to find that, okay, I have host group, but the correlation of servers are not same as a group, so we can find another groups of servers. It means this server is doing similar things with another server, and it's from another group. We can find some virtual group by the correlation of data. Okay, problems. Problems are here to solve it. So, should it be done externally, or using API, or directly in SQL? That's a question. Or internally, some Zabbix server plugin in future. Alexei said that they are working on some plugin for Zabbix server, which can do some useful things with historical data, backup or something like this. So it's a good point of start for any analysis. If we make the thresholds before analysis, so we will not find any data, because we say we want to say, okay, if this is big and this is slow, so this is bad. No, we shouldn't do some threshold before. That analysis should find it. But on the other way, we can have many false positives if the conditions will be solved. So now I am working on that script. This script will be open source and will be available for anybody, so anybody can take his historical data and run this analysis and get some useful information from it. And in future, if we found this tool happy, or if we will be happy from the tool, we can maybe look into the closer implementation into Zabbix, maybe. Okay, so last I would say, great software, stay on for entire Zabbix team. Thank you.
Thank you very much.